Hi, I'm Chris Sledge, and this is my team profile. I'm the operations and workshop manager, so I'm essentially responsible for all of the floor staff. So that is the mechanics, the sub-assembly crew, the tyre crew, the storerooms, stores, the transport, and the signage print room employees, and essentially making sure that they have everything they need to do their jobs. So I only joined Grove in 2023 in September, end of September. So I basically started as we went to Bathurst last year. Yeah, look, I've been an automotive fan since I was young. I'm a car nut through and through. So I was at 14. I was building and restoring cars with my father. I've worked with them the whole time. I mean, I'd hate to guess, but it's probably in excess of 50 or 60 cars that I've owned over the years, and then even more of what I've actually worked on for other people, for customers and friends, etc. You know, I still on the side run a bit of a car restoration business. I mean, I primarily now focus in the fabrication side, so I do a lot of metalwork and rust repair. So yeah, I've always kept my hands busy. And then on the side of that, I've raced. So I've raced go-karts, I've raced club sport cars and time attack and stuff like that. So yeah, I've done a lot in that space, but I've never worked in it. So it's always been from an amateur outside perspective that I've seen motorsport, and then I've now stepped to the inside and seen it, and it's very different to what you perceive motorsport to be through a television camera. I've always loved motor racing in general, all the way down to an electronic format. So I remember, you know, your PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 when Gran Turismo first came out, and you know, man, you look back at that now and how clunky it is compared to the modern stuff, and you wonder how you perceived it to be so accurate and so realistic. But yeah, I've made my way through all of that, and at the time it was a game. It was a game I enjoyed, and then as it got a lot more realistic and the equipment started to catch up with it, you really started to notice that this is no longer a gaming scenario. This is an actual tool that can be used quite productively in your car world. So I'd hazard to guess when, but I remember we built, actually probably was when Logitech released the G27 steering wheel when it first came out, and I bought one of them and set it up on a desk, and a mate came over and said, man, this is awesome, but you've got it on a desk and we've got steel outside and car parts and chairs. So we built this rig to resemble everything, and realized very quickly now we can use this as a training tool. We could actually practice in this before going to events, and that's really where I use it now. So I have simulated versions of all the cars that I own and race set up in it. I've obviously got access to all of the tracks potentials for Australia and around the world, and I love driving them and practicing them, especially before a race event. I'll put in an hour or two on the simulator just to refresh my mind of that car and that track. So yeah, I see it as an invaluable tool, especially for the drivers nowadays with the accuracy of the games or the simulations and the equipment. I don't know why you wouldn't be using that in your off time to keep yourself fresh and up to date with everything. I previously wasn't working in the motorsport world. I mean, I've raced cars for a long time, and I've been building cars since I was young as well, but I've never worked in motorsport. So working in motorsport has been definitely interesting. I actually, look, I've worked in automotive product design for the last 25 years, which is a high innovation environment. So it works at the forefront of all manufacturing equipment, of all design principles, of CAD software, of engineering in general. So it's quite a high innovation space. And I guess I came across to this space probably expecting it to be a little bit more advanced than it probably is. Not in a bad way, but just more in terms of the processes and principles and structure that sits behind everything. It's probably a little bit more, not behind, but more relaxed. There's a lot more freedom to interpret things and do things the way that you want within your team. And that's been awesome. It's been a real open space here to be able to really shape and work with what they've got and how they do things to get the best out of our staff, out of our car, out of our team in general. And then you realise the complexity that is running a motorsport team is not just literally having a car and a good driver, it's so much more.